All right, so yesterday at Joe Biden's inauguration, Lady Gaga debuted the mixed meter version of this Star-Spangled Banner. Why was she using a mixed meter arrangement? You normally associate mixed meters with like math rock, not like presidential inaugurations, which are supposed to be really stately. Why did she use a combination of 4/4 and 3/4? Well, I transcribed the arrangement, and I think there's some really interesting things that she and her music director did to kind of nod to Whitney Houston's version and John Clayton's arrangement that they used in the 1994 Super Bowl, but also created this kind of new approach to the national anthem that I think is kind of sorely needed. So let's check it out. We start out here in 4/4, and there's a long history of the song being rendered in 4/4 versus 3/4. John Philip Sousa actually did an arrangement of the Star-Spangled Banner back in 1918 in 4/4. And you know, Marvin Gaye, Jennifer Hudson, Whitney Houston, they all did it in 4/4 because it's a great way of taking the Star-Spangled Banner and appropriating it in popular styles. But here we got like a more formal martial start to it with the percussion and the wind ensemble playing in the key of G flat. So we start with a G flat major triad. We go up to the 5 chord over its 3rd, the D flat over F, and then we have a nice E flat minor. All triads, all very simple, very stately, very strong. None of that jazz nonsense. By the dawn's early light. Great stuff. This is simple, but really effective. We go to the 6th chord in the key of D flat, E flat minor, then to the 5 of 5, the A flat chord, which tonicizes D flat. We got the sus4 resolving, that 4/3 suspension. Beautiful. All very straightforward so far, but check out what happens next. What so proudly we hailed. On the page, that looks simple, but in context, it sounds kind of strange, almost kind of jarring, in fact. And the reason for that is because she is singing a syncopation. She's anticipating that second note. That rhythm of 3/8 notes plus 3/8 notes plus 2/8 notes is called a tresillo rhythm. It's very common in many kinds of dance styles around the world, but in this particular context, it sticks out a little bit. And it's so subtle and it's so simple, but it's so effective. It really kind of draws your attention in. It makes you think like, wait, what was that? There's also this really nice moment where she's singing the word hailed on the note F, and the D flat 7 sus4 in the harmony kind of almost contradicts it. Got that dissonance between the G flat, the sus4 of the D flat 7 sus4, but it's so subtle and so soft in the orchestration that your ear doesn't really notice it. It's kind of more of a, like this color. It's nice, very subtle. At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars. So what we have here at the beginning of the, I guess the second line, is a re-harmonization. We have slightly different chords, but the melody is the same. We start on the 6th, the relative minor in the key of D flat, followed by G flat over D flat, the 1 chord over its 5th, and then followed by this really nice chord, a G flat over C flat. And I love the sound of this chord. This is the first like jazz chord that we have so far. It's a chord which, there's so much power to it. I'm pretty sure that this chord, the tonic triad over the 4 in the key, which kind of sounds like a C flat major 7 without its 3rd, it's very nice, is a nod to John Clayton's arrangement of Whitney Houston singing the Star-Spangled Banner. God, so good.
Oh my God, these chords are just unbelievable.
I know Charles Cornell has already made a video gushing over the Whitney Houston arrangement, but it's the best. Anyway, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's is also good. Let's keep listening. So far, and with the exception of that tresillo that happened earlier, Lady Gaga is singing this very straightforward. She's not including any of that melismatic singing yet that is typically representative of Star-Spangled Banner arrangements done in contemporary styles in 4/4. In this case, we have lots of the basic triads, but also a lot of great voice leading between chords with inversions. So we have this G flat over B flat going to a C flat diminished chord, which resolves very, very nicely to a G flat over D flat, the one chord over its fifth, which then goes very nicely to a B flat over D. Just such a beautiful progression, which would presumably resolve to E flat minor. It's, I guess, what you might call churchy. I don't know, I just get a church vibe to it, a gospel vibe to it. It's nice. Anyway, the real cool stuff is yet to happen. Let's keep listening.
We're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare.
All right, wow, it sounds like she's singing the word glare for a very, very long time. And the reason for that is because she starts singing as if it's in 3/4. Even though the rest of the band is in 4/4, she starts arriving on the note glare one beat earlier than where she has been finishing her phrases. Glare appears on beat 4, and to me it has that same kind of off-kilter feeling that the tresillo rhythm had earlier on in the arrangement. It's very intentional. The rest of the band has this harmonization and this harmonic rhythm which supports the arrival of glare on beat 4. We got G flat, A flat minor, B flat minor 7 flat 5, E flat 7 flat 9 sharp, excuse me, E flat 7, E flat 7 sus 4 flat 9, resolving to E flat 7, which sets up the beginning of the next phrase where she's going to do that same metric trick again. So yeah, she's setting up 3/4 before we actually arrive to 3/4. It's just that there's these very long gaps in the phrase that you really feel. There's almost, I want to say, an awkward energy about it, but I think it's very intentional to get you to that place which just wants you to arrive at the beginning of the next phrase. Like, for example, in the harmony, we're in this like C flat minor territory for quite a long time. And by the way, yes, that is a C flat minor over E double flat. Music is weird sometimes. Anyway, let's keep listening.
That our flag was still there.
So now we get to the meat of the matter. When Lady Gaga gestures to the flags of the 400,000 Americans that have been killed because of the novel coronavirus, it happens on the phrase, the flag was still there. We're in 3/4 now. She is phrasing it in groups of 2. So the groupings are over the bar line. There's still this feeling of like being unmoored, this feeling of wanting to get to the next place because the meter has been played with, has been toyed with so much up until this point. And yeah, to me, it's kind of an affecting moment. For some people, these dramatic pauses that go against perception of meter might feel awkward or cringe. And I understand that. But I think it's because Lady Gaga is affecting more of a Broadway aesthetic than a pop R&B aesthetic that we typically expect with soloist performers of the Star Spangled Banner at major events. If you try and remove this arrangement from its cultural baggage of Whitney Houston, because honestly, Whitney Houston sang it the best that anybody's ever going to sing it in that style. It's like not even a question. You can never sing it as good as Whitney Houston.
Oh my God.
And if you try and start thinking of it more as like the storytelling kind of song that you would hear in Les Mis, for example, or anything out of American musical theater, you start hearing it in a little bit of a different light. That's, I think, what Lady Gaga and her arranger are doing here. This is like the big number at the end of Act 1. I dreamed a dream. Like, I could imagine more and more counterpoint getting added to this, the way that she's singing and the way that she's interpreting it. And I think that, I don't know, I like it. It works, for me anyway. This, by the way, is very different from how Lady Gaga sang it at the 2016 Super Bowl, where she's singing at 1 and 3/4, but also with a lot more of the pop styling and the melismatic kind of singing. By turning it into a musical theater song, a song of contemporary opera, let's be honest, she's meeting the gravity of the situation. And I think it works. Anyway, let's keep listening. It wouldn't be the American national anthem without just, a little bit of riffing. We'll give her that. It's been very regal. It's been very reserved so far. So she's earned that little bit, I think. All right, so now we're really into 3/4 territory. We're picking up the phrasing. The mixed meter now has the effect of making everything feel a lot faster than it was before, even though the tempo has stayed exactly the same. There's like a lot more forward momentum here. It's telling a story. The harmony and the orchestration support this forward momentum by having a new chord on every beat. Like we got, oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? There's just like a lot of harmony coming at you too. So we started in 4/4, we transitioned to 3/4, and now the meters are gonna get a little bit more loose. Okay, there's a couple interesting things here. First, she doesn't sing the high note on the word free. She doesn't go up to the higher octave, which is what so many singers typically do. She did it in the 2016 Super Bowl. But she didn't do it here, and I think it was very intentional. Also very interesting on the word land, it sounds like she runs out of breath. She breaks up the word land into land and. But the orchestration also pauses at the exact moment where it sounds like she runs out of breath. So that was definitely an intentional call there. A strange choice, but too much of a choice for it to be an accident. Anyway, let's keep listening. So this is interesting. She's singing it as if it's in 3/4. It almost sounds like she's rushing of the, but the rest of the band is playing it in 4/4. And I'm not sure if this is a choice or not, but she is singing and arriving on the note the a full beat before the rest of the band does. Listen to it. And then of course we end on a classic 4 minor resolving to 1, although it's over the root in the bass. Such a nice sound. It's a little bit different than the John Clayton, what I would call the Mario cadence that ends Whitney Houston's arrangement of the Star-Spangled Banner. But it has a similar kind of vibe because the 4 minor 6 chord has the flat 6, the flat 6th scale degree of the key, which just has a really nice resolution down to the 5th scale degree, which is part of the 1 chord. Similar, a little bit different. Of course, at the very end, she throws in just a little bit of that riff, but to me, it sounds like it's classic American Broadway, or at least how she's approaching singing this arrangement. You know, I think it's super interesting how Lady Gaga approached using mixed meters alongside her musical director, Michael Bearden. She really told a story. We started in 4/4 with this very strong, stately, regal arrangement. And then with these very subtle twists, even still within 4/4, we got this off-kilter feeling, we got this uneasy feeling, we got this kind of awkward feeling, but also exciting feeling that told us that we were going to someplace new. We didn't know exactly where, but it kept us on the edge of our seats. You know, this was very well thought out by everybody involved. The meters served to tell a story and to tell a new story. And I think that's important for us when we're listening to the United States National Anthem. We've been hearing the same story over and over again. And I think what's so interesting about the Star-Spangled Banner is that for Americans, we need to hear our story spoken by an individual who, at big events like the inauguration or the Super Bowl, serves as kind of an avatar for everything that we might be feeling. And there's this like lightning rod that surrounds the individual as they are singing it. Anyway, so the point is, I like the arrangement. It was cool. There's a lot of cool little things in there. Thanks guys so much for watching. If you like what I do here on this channel, please comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you to my patrons, which make videos like this possible. Shout out to the patrons. It's you guys who are the real MVPs of this channel. Appreciate you guys. Till next time.
Peace.